Hey, there was one or two videos talking about. One was, is Christianity a cargo cult? I don't know what that is because I haven't watched the video yet, but I've heard other people call Christianity a cult too. The problem ends up being, what do you define as a cult? Um, I've heard one definition, and it's the only definition that can remain consistent. That is to say, no other definition works as well as this definition works. And it just takes one variable. I've never heard anyone be able to come up with a better definition of what a cult is. And it comes down to one thing, and I hold fastly to this definition because, again, I have not seen any other definition that doesn't fall apart immediately from the slightest scrutiny because of the blurred line between religion and cult. And I think I'm advocating we should start using this definition because it clearly defines things. A religion is just a cult that survived the death of its founder. For instance, Christianity was a cult while Jesus was still alive. The moment Jesus died and the cult kept going, that is to say, we can argue about how long it takes afterwards, but most cults fall apart almost immediately if either their prophecy of the end of the world doesn't come true or their founder dies and it hasn't grown big enough to survive. Christianity is not a cult. It's a religion because it survived the death of its founder. Um, Whereas Jonestown, the Branch Davidian, clearly that was a cult. It has not survived the death of its founder. Um, I'm sure there's one or two people who might be observing. I don't know. We have 7 billion people. There is a chance that someone who was in that cult still secretly believes he was the Messiah, but 7 people, uh, a religion does not make. But again, that is the blurred line, but it still doesn't take away the fact that this is the best definition that can be used. It's the only one that remains consistent. For instance, Buddhism is a religion. However, the personality cults of the two competing lamas, those are cults. Um, the Dalai Lama and the other guy who claims to also be the Lama. And even if the Dalai Lama doesn't agree with the violence between the two cults, there is still violence between the two cults. People ignore that or they choose not to acknowledge it. But it is there. It does exist. It does happen. Those are cults. Um, I haven't heard any other. People also talk about manipulation. What more manipulation is? If you don't believe in this, you will burn and scream and cry and beg and groan for all eternity. And so will your children, because it nowhere in the Bible does it say children don't go to hell. Nowhere. Um, so that little 4-year-old you see on the commercial, um, according to religion, generally he's going to hell. You the starving ones, whatever. That's beside the point. The point is, uh, so that seems to be like Scientology. A lot of people call it a cult because of the methods it uses to keep people in it. Um, a lot of religions do that. A lot of communities excommunicate you. I mean, the Catholic Church. So you can't. Those definitions are insufficient and they just don't work. Really, they as an understanding language wise, trying to get everyone to agree or at least language is descriptive. You need to have some sort of definition that at least some people agree on. Um, the only so yeah, not pushing. I heard this definition once, and most people don't use it, and I don't know why. And the it's not like they have good alternate definitions where it's like, well, Alec, the reason is that this is much more. No, you have nothing. The only definition that works, that is not contradicted by also being the definition of a religion, that what is in a cult, every aspect is also in a religion, just on a wider scale. So those definitions just don't work. The only one that works is a religion is a cult that survived the death of its founder. Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, while he was still alive, it was a cult. Uh, he died, it survived years without him. Uh, a religion at that point. I mean, there's no doubt it is a religion. There's enough people who believe in it. It's not actually defined by that, but um, it survived the death of its founder. What else? Mormonism. Regardless of whether you think it's stupid or not, it survived the death of its founder. You can't give me any other factors that would make it different from a cult except that. Uh, so, what do you think? Because I haven't heard a definition that works other than that. They're really, it all comes down to degrees when you don't use that definition, when you try to use a different definition. And it just doesn't work. It falls apart with even the slightest scrutiny. So, yeah, that's my position on that. Uh, that's why I don't call Christianity a cult. It's not a cult. I think Cult of Dusty likes to say it's a cult. Then nothing is a religion. That's the problem you have with defining Christianity as a cult. Then there is no religion. Because every other religion has almost exactly the same factors as Christianity. So, to me, it's just foolish to define things like Christianity as a cult. Because that means we literally have no examples of what a religion is. It's non-existent. Because everything is a cult then. Everything that has those factors. So yeah, tell me how you feel about that definition, and why don't you think more people are using it? Because I didn't come up with that. I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. Yeah. So, and I'm not talking like a lot of cult leaders won't like that. I don't give a damn what they like. That's not how reality works. Just like a lot of Christians say, um, you know, I hate religion, but I love Christianity. They're trying to distance themselves from the idea of Christianity being a religion. It doesn't work that way. You're in a religion. Do not waste my time. Arrogant as that may sound. You know, I, I hate humanity, but I love people. Unless you mean peoples of other planets, you got some issues there. I suppose you can mince words and separate it, but you're just blowing smoke up my ass. Don't waste my time. So that's what I think. I think that's the only definition that works. It's consistent. It accounts for the only real differences between the two. So, yeah. Until my next video, try to make the world a better place, and I will too. Oh, and if you think you have a better definition, post it. You might be right. It might be something I haven't considered. But I don't think there is. So, yeah. Till my next video. Yeah.